What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Talks, only podcast in April with movie news, movie reviews, and more. Episode 97, approaching that 100 very, very, very soon. You
Yeah,
could even
wow.
say in 3 episodes.
Yes, you could.
Quick maths, quick maths, easy. Oh, boy, do we have a lineup for you. We've got House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 3. We've got prophecies galore coming in there and some Assassin's Creed mumbo jumbo sneakiness happening. We've got Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, the fourth film in the franchise, which has a
Mhm.
nostalgia throwback, which I don't know if we were prepared for the nostalgia because it went over my head a little bit, but it's kind of like there's a
Yeah.
mole in the business in season two Netflix special, bringing back the early 2000s game shows. Bom, bom, bom. Yeah, that's what we got. That's what we got. How good. How good. I feel like you're
It's
very.
the bum that it's
I
uh
don't know. Whatever. We're here.
no, nothing wrong with it. You're bringing
We're here.
energy I don't have yet. I'll wake up. We'll
I'm a
get there.
morning person. You're a night owl. So we're the
Yeah.
opposite end of the spectrum.
hmm
Kind of like the movie news that is coming. It's finally there's a bit of movie news happening because the last few
Okay.
weeks have been a little bit quieter. We've got Anthony Mackie starring in the new Captain America because he's the new Captain America, if you
Yeah,
didn't
right.
know.
Yep.
Yep, I
I
like
did.
Anthony Mackie. And
No.
that they have shared a new suit setup. So there's new photos of him in the new suit.
Ooh. I don't care. I don't care about the actor. I don't care about the series. I don't care about the IP. I care nothing about this.
I know that's why I did the pause.
Do you remember back in the day we used to have rules to movie news? I had to tell you if I was it care, don't care,
Yeah.
or
That's right.
some
That's right.
bullshit.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't
But
care.
yeah, Studio Ghibli is getting ready for a re-release of My Neighbor Totoro in the UK.
All
So
right.
for their summertime, it's getting a new cinema release. Uh, I don't know why they do that, but I guess it brings it back. Because I don't know, are cinemas
Yeah.
dying or cinemas like I'm sure they've taken a hit, especially after COVID, plus all the streaming services, plus people
Yeah,
being lazy. Like they've had to have taken a hit.
definitely have. But it's hard.
Yeah.
Like people keep saying, "Oh, cinemas are dying," and then shit like Inside Out does relatively well. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe they're not. Like, yeah,
Look, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? But Matt Damon is being
Matt Damon.
he's being reunited with the Jason Bourne director, the Doug Liman, for a heist comedy. Could be good, could
Oh,
be
really?
bad, who knows? But the Jason Bourne films were quite good. Besides in the real quick edits with the fight scenes that made me like quite quite nauseous because they were so quickly edited with shaky cam. It was like it was all over the place. Didn't quite know
I've
what was
literally watched
happening.
none of them.
Okay, well then, we,
I have no opinion.
well, Blumhouse are on fire. They are doing a new AI thriller horror that is has Jason Cho and Catherine Waterston about a smart home that turns deadly. Surprise, surprise.
Right. I feel like we've seen this. Like
Yeah, yeah, we have, but not Blumhouse because we had that house. Remember the house that did it? We already.
the house that did it. That was what it was called.
I feel like it was like Catherine or
That'd be a
something.
pretty cool name.
Remember, and they all had this real stereotypical
Yeah,
people.
yeah, I
Yeah,
do. That was pretty early in our history
yeah,
memory.
yep. Well, a little bit of a throwback. Hundreds of Beavers is a wild indie comedy that is the Revenant but funny, apparently. So it's getting a bit of publicity now.
Okay.
Yeah. I
I'm still trying to find this movie.
okay. Oh, you were a fan of Borderlands, the game. Yes.
A little bit. I played
Okay.
a little bit of two mainly.
Well, there is new photos of Kate Blanchett, and they've turned her into a gunslinger. It actually looks pretty cool from the screenshots that I've seen. Like it looks,
The movie.
yeah. It looks pretty cool. I feel like,
Nah, it looks shit.
okay, okay.
To
I
me, it
mean,
looks shit. It's
why?
it because it's Kevin Hart and it's a bunch of random fucking actors thrown into a movie. It's a money grab. Like I
Yeah,
don't feel like
I thought that about Fallout, but that turned out well.
yeah. I saw this thing that on TikTok that's actual like fan of um an actual fan of what do you call it?
Borderlands.
Fucking Borderlands. Sat down with the thing and was like, "This is a problem and this is a problem," and I'm like, okay, I don't really. I mean, I don't think it's made for me anyway, but it doesn't look funny. And Borderlands is all about the comedy. And
Okay.
if the comedy doesn't land, then it's going to be lame. But
All right. We'll see.
I don't know. The trailer didn't look overly entertaining.
Yeah, right. Well then, M. Night Shyamalan is back, and guess who is starring in his newest serial killer thriller?
I did know this, but I've forgotten. Do tell.
Josh Hartnett.
Ah, yes.
Yep.
This dude's killing
He's everywhere. He's
it.
you can't escape him. He's just everywhere.
You rocked up in what was it? The first fucking
Kevin Hart,
what's the Kevin Hart thing
Die
called
Hart.
again? Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
You rocked up
And
in
now,
that, and then since then we've seen him in everything.
and now he's a rash, and now you can't get rid of him.
Yeah, right.
All right.
I don't mind him. He's especially after the fucking what was it called? The Hitman? Not the Hitman. Yeah, Hitman.
Yeah.
After that, that's it. That's him, right? Yeah, that's the guy. Um, no, that's a different guy. That's Powell.
Glenn Powell, who's in the new
All right, I'm getting Glenn
Twister.
Powell and I'm getting Handsome Men confused. Yeah,
But
whatever.
yep. Inside Out has become the first $1 billion box office hit of 2024.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well,
Crazy.
it's good. So
It is, but so is Furiosa.
yeah, but
But
this is
it's
a summer family blockbuster. You're not taking the kids to
mhm.
go see Furiosa.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Everyone's after the death of Furiosa, people were like, "Oh, the cinema's dying," but it just didn't do well, which is really disappointing.
Well, I think because you got families going, like if two parents plus two, one or three kids, four kids, like that adds
Yeah,
up quickly. Where Furiosa is like you and some mates, or you and
it's
some,
true. You're on your own.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
like
different.
definitely. You're selling 3 to 4 tickets at a time
Yeah,
with what you calls it, Inside Out.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
doesn't surprise me. It's done so well. It's good too. We said that last week. It's
mm,
actually a good movie.
yeah, and
Deserves
then
it.
we've got Henry Cavill is starring in the Highlander reboot. I'm pretty excited for Highlander. I quite liked Highlander back in the day. It was pretty cool.
I'd seen some of it, but never
Yeah, you can only
properly watched it.
Highlanders are like immortal unless you cut the head off.
Okay,
You got to cut the head off, and then they die.
I believe
Let's
you.
get it. Yeah, okay, right. Let's get into our first one off the ranks, which is episode 3 of House of the Dragons, The Burning Mill. Bom, bom, bom.
hmm
As usual, I'll probably butcher it, and Lawson will step in and save the day. So there's too many names. I get confused with names, and uh, just I enjoyed this episode more than previous episode because there was more dragons. They listened.
Yeah,
Mm.
I did think that when I watched it. I was like, oh, Ryan will be happy. There's some dragons in this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Like I just wanted to see a few more dragons, and they gave it to me, and I was more than happy. Like it wasn't that action packed, but there was more dragons, and it
hmm
was cool. So as Allison's grudges resurface, Rhaenyra suggests that Allison may see reason while the men around her seek bloodshed. Sir
hmm
Christian proposes a bold scheme. Damon arrives at, I'm going to butcher this, Harrenhal,
Harrenhal.
Harrenhal to raise an army for the Blacks.
Yep,
Which, yeah.
the key
So
to the Riverland.
yeah. So the Riverland. Boom, boom, boom. Also, that place
hmm
has got that needs a plumber, like a roof plumber or something, because that
A
place
roof
was
plumber.
yeah, that place was leaking water everywhere. Those guys have got
Yeah, it
those
was
guys.
attacked by dragons.
You're right.
It's the biggest castle in Westeros, and they need it to garrison all the men, all the
Hmm.
soldiers.
Yep. So obviously we are on a very linear path and we're flowing along. I did see somewhere in people were saying that this is told from a number of different perspectives, and that's why it's like a little bit jumbled here and there rather than being told from one perspective. I don't know if that's like where that's going
Neither was
because
Thrones. Thrones was told the same way.
um I guess. I guess yeah. I don't know. Whatever. I was just reading it because some people were having a big argument and I started reading it and then lost interest pretty quickly. But
That's fair.
regardless, yeah. Anyway, we are jumping back off. We get to see Allison, obviously in charge. We get a little bit of what's her son? The one with the eye patch. I need my list
Aemond
again. Eamon, we get to see him. Things never quite change for old Eamon. He's still bullied by his
by his
siblings.
brother. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's still with the person that took his virginity or his first
Hmm.
lover. He's still
She's like
doing
an
that.
older woman as well, so
Yeah.
there's a bit of like mother complex there, very Freudian.
Yeah. We also get a full frontal in there and people are losing their minds over it,
Yep.
as usual.
Hanging brain.
Yep. We get to
It's not
see
unexpected though at this point. Like
the
it's the
full
Thrones universe. We see plenty of penis.
I don't know. It's just people lose their minds as soon as it's a male full frontal nudity.
Yeah, isn't that so strange?
It's bizarre because what was the first one? I think it was Sex Life on Netflix was like the first one where they used prosthetics because that thing was like an elephant trunk in the shower. I think it was massive.
Calling a
Um,
horse.
yeah. So obviously we are still dealing with the conflict of Alicent and Rhaenyra. We have Damon flying off to try and rectify himself to be able to, as you
Hmm.
predicted before, you reckon he was going to try and raise an army, and lo and behold, he's flying off to Harrowhold,
Aaron
the
Hall.
Harrenhal, the place in the Riverlands to be able to rise an army, but unfortunately, the
Hmm.
place had been ransacked a little bit, so
Yeah.
it's
Well, it's
not what.
been destroyed by dragons ages ago, but
Yeah,
it's such a big castle that there are some parts of it that can be like lived in, I suppose, without being drenched. I don't really know.
I don't know, but the whole
I think they'll
place
probably
looks.
repair it and shit.
Yeah.
Will they? I forget. Do
Oh,
we see that in Thrones? I forget if we see Harrenhal in Thrones.
I don't know. It's so far removed.
But it's the same place. If you remember right back to the first episode,
Hmm.
um, where uh, it goes even further back in time, and when they announce that Viserys is going to be the king instead of his sister Rhaenys,
Hmm.
that whole ceremony that happens in that hall
Okay.
in the Harrenhal, the Hall of Harrenhal. I forget what they call it.
All of Harrenhal sounds pretty cool.
Why not? Um, yeah. So it's nice to see. Well, it's nice, but it's interesting to see it in this sort of state condition.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, he goes there to more or less win the castle for Rhaenys, and yeah, sort of
Which he pretty much does. He pretty much just walks in and is like,
yeah.
they're like, hey, we
Thanks, Rhaenyra. My bad.
swear loyalty to you. We're loyal, and
Yeah,
away we go. But then there's a bit of distrust and stuff. Like an easy way to kill a dragon rider is to poison the peas. I don't know
yeah.
if that's like is that folklore or is that like just
No, it's just saying like, why would I trust the food you're giving me? But I've just came here and like taking your castle,
yeah,
and you give me food. Like, pretty easy to kill him that way.
true, true. But
That's all he's saying.
I get a little bit of seem too convenient. I feel like there's gonna have to be something there. Like I don't know where that's going
Yeah,
because
I
they've
mean,
just walked in and been like, "Yo, I'm taking your castle."
but what can they really do about it though? Like,
Yeah.
he's got dragon. I'm trying to. For some reason, I remember there being bad blood between the Greens and his family. I forget who even is from name. Because that's one of the Strongs, right? Like that's one of the Strong family members, and then the
Maybe.
Strongs were killed by. I honestly have a little bit of vague memory of the family there, but
Yeah.
yeah, look, I don't know. I feel like by the way things went down in my memory of it, they were already on a side with Rhaenyra anyway. As soon as he came in, they were just like, well, easy. You're
Yeah.
here first.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So this was definitely a little bit of a calm before the storm. So we're going to try and rectify, but not truly rectify. And there was a big cliffhanger. We've got Rhaenyra trying to do some moving pieces, sending off.
Mhm.
Uh, who did she send off? Because the other daughter who doesn't have a dragon, there's a little bit of conflict there. She was like, "You need to go to
Yeah.
safety," but why don't we? Why isn't the other girl going? Because she's got a dragon. But it's like, yeah. We also get to see the
I remember it's,
eggs.
it's it's either Baylor or Raina. I forget which is which. It's two young girls, but I forget which is which. Sorry.
Yeah. Apparently, we also get to see the eggs, which
Yeah.
handed down to Daenerys.
Oh, they those eggs. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yep. So they're the three dragon eggs that we get to see in Game of Thrones.
Right.
Little Easter egg
Dragon
there.
and all that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So obviously, lots of little moving pieces, lots of setting up, and then we get Rhaenyra, who all of a sudden has a revelation. Is like, "Yo, Alicent will listen to me if I can only speak to her."
Yeah.
And then they go on a Assassin's Creed sort of mission,
Oh, that's what you meant by Assassin's Creed earlier.
isn't it? Where Rhaenyra and her trusty sidekick have gone into, is it King's Landing? Is that where they are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because they've got a hood on or they've got a slight mask on.
Well,
Apparently
she's
that they can walk in.
sort of.
Apparently in the books, it is because Rhaenyra has aged further along that she's lost her like natural like stunning beauty, so she's a little bit older, and that's why she's able to walk in without anyone noticing her. Apparently,
Yeah, right. I
apparently.
thought this scene wasn't even in the books.
Well, according to people arguing online, because I was like, what are these? Because the whole meme was Assassin's Creed inspired, and when they were walking in,
Right.
and then people were just arguing back and forth, and it was like,
Yeah, yeah.
because apparently in the book she's not as, um, she's aged, so she's lost some of her beauty.
Sure.
I
Look, it's
gotta,
an interesting scene because a lot of what's happened here is when um Viserys died, he was talking to Alicent and he was talking about how Aemond or Aegon on the throne and Aegon blah blah blah, and he was talking about dead Aegon, not current young Aegon, and that was obviously a lot of the confusion and why Alicent believed that Aegon was meant to be on the throne. If that was the moment where they sort of see eye to eye, but Rhaenyra is very much not Rhaenyra, sorry, Alicent's very much like, well, it's too late. Like, as much as she believes Rhaenyra when Rhaenyra's like, I'm meant to be on the throne and whatever, what can Alicent really do about it at this point?
yeah,
You
nothing
know?
now. Do you know they could have solved this by like naming him normal names? Like if they named him John and Fred.
You're not wrong. Yeah. If they didn't name if they didn't name Aegon after Aegon, then they probably wouldn't have had this problem. But
Right? They could call him Arthur. It would have been,
you're not wrong. Yeah.
see, problem
But it has
solved.
caused a lot of the confusion. But
Well, I'm confused, let alone people that are living in there. So,
yeah. But I like that scene because it's a reminder that um as Rhaenys says at one point to the Black Council, um, remember that she is the granddaughter of whatever the fuck is I forget names now, but Viserys's father, right? Who was like the longest standing king, but was also quite merciful and tactical, and he wasn't just full of rage and murder.
mhm.
Um, and it's nice that there's these men on both sides who are always just talking about death and how we can take over control and how we can fight and win and all that sort of stuff. Then the women want to just talk it out. So yeah, I like that scene a lot. Rhaenyra coming in, having a chat with Alicent, and
I
it's
liked
a
it.
good location. They did it.
I just laughed at how they walked in.
Hmm.
Like it just reminded me so much of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Well, she was
Yeah,
dressed as like a
a nun.
yeah nun, I guess they'd call it. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but yeah, a religious woman.
Yeah. And then old mate's just got his hood or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they are either. A religious man.
Yeah, I don't know. But he was one of the knights, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We also get what's his name? Christian Cole out and about trying to scout. And then
Yeah,
also how does
with
he
Alicent's
have
brother,
he has the superhero like vision? Because
yeah,
old mate saw that from a mile off and was like, yo,
right.
there's a dragon.
We're exposed. I was like, exposed from what? What can you even see? And yeah, dragons
Yeah.
cruising around.
Also, wouldn't you I don't know. Did she know who it was? Because all of a sudden, when they reported back, they were like, "Oh, Christian Cole is
It was Christian
scouting."
Cole. Yeah,
Wouldn't you just
she
be
got pretty
like,
close.
wouldn't you just be straight line and just forest fire that?
Yeah,
No.
just burn up the whole. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Just burn up the whole fucking patch. Like
Yeah,
they're there somewhere. Just burn them up.
yeah. Like I doubt
Yeah,
they're going to escape it because now they're like, "Ha, we're in the trees. Dragons can't come in the trees, but dragons can burn all your
yeah.
trees."
Can burn everything.
It seemed
Yeah, I
very
know. Plot
convenient for him
armor.
to
Of course it
to
was.
stay alive. But it was
I think
cool
Christian
seeing.
Cole at this point, everything that keeps him alive is plot armor because this guy's fucking useless.
He's so dumb.
I know.
He's just
He's got this fucking little pout about him as well. It's this
yeah.
face that is very punchable. He's an idiot. He's getting himself in some fucking thick water.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He's in trouble.
Mm.
But it is definitely building. We are starting to see it. It's all about to come to a big head.
Yeah.
H-
We
How many
see
how many seasons has this been renewed for?
I don't know. Let's look that up.
I think
Because
it's like three or four. Because I don't know how much law they have to go by. But
okay. It's gonna
like
take 4 full seasons, 10 episodes to do justice to Dance the
okay,
Dragon. So at least 4 seasons.
okay,
It can be 4 or 5.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We saw each of our um, king and queen name a Lord of Whispers.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking Massaria is now working with Rhaenyra, which I think makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Um,
I
I
feel
think
like she's got a
more
little bit
women
of
on her side.
she's got a little bit of resentment though. I am predicting a bit of a backstab there.
With Massaria.
Yep,
You think Massaria is going to backstab Rhaenyra?
I reckon.
No, I don't think so.
I reckon.
I think her loyalty has been made pretty apparent by saving her life.
Mm, I don't know. I feel like she's definitely looking to advance herself, and anything goes will to advance her to win.
Okay.
That's what
No,
I'm
I see her
predicting.
as more like Melisandre, who was the translator for
Yeah,
um Danny. Yeah,
yeah.
that's how I sort of see her more like, but we'll see.
I don't know. I reckon there'll be some form of
Yeah, yeah.
betrayal, whether it's a betrayal to get rid of Damon or hurt Rainier. I reckon there'll be something in there.
Mm. And yeah,
Just
Lara Strong is now Lord of Whispers as well for Aegon. I love Laris. Give him more scenes. Give him more to do. He's such a fun character.
yeah. Didn't we also see old Clubfoot? Didn't he come back? He had a
That's Laris. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I think it is Laris's father that is Harrenhal because he I think he's aware, or is his father or uncle or something, because he's like, I have no. That's right. Something along the lines of like, I have no loyalty to Clubfoot.
Mhm.
And he's like mad at him because he's like fully aware that Clubfoot murdered his father and brother.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, I think that was that bad blood that I mentioned earlier between him and the Greens.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for today's episode. I'm very, very interested to see
Oh, it's
how it
today, isn't
goes.
it?
It is. It comes out what 11:30, 12ish for us.
We almost need to record because we are releasing episodes after the next episode's already out.
Mm.
We
I
almost need to
mean,
record like
next
early and get it
next
out.
week we can do episode what 4 and 5, and then one movie and release it on the Tuesday. Mm.
Good, yeah.
Mm.
We'll talk about that off stream. Yeah, we'll figure out
Yeah,
what we can do.
and then we'll be up to date for 1 week.
1 week, yeah.
For
That's
one
true
week,
though. That's the thing.
silly full-time jobs.
I know. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
How dare we?
But anyway, it was a fun episode. It is definitely the calm before the storm. I wonder how is Allison just going to let Rhaenyra just walk out, be like, "See ya."
Yeah, I think so. There's no reason for her. Well, I guess there is reason for her to kill her, but I think that the fact that I mean, at any point, Rhaenyra she got herself deep into the fucking um to the castle, into King's Landing, not into the castle itself, but into King's Landing. If she wanted to fucking spill blood, she would have.
Yeah,
So I think it's like, well, you got away in here without hurting anyone. We'll let you go without hurting anyone as well. I hope so. Shouldn't. I
that's yeah,
wouldn't.
that's bizarre though. Like you're at war. You're virtually at war. It's like
Mm.
let's take the win here.
Yeah, but there's times for peace in war. Like there are times for negotiation and verbal conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you get rid of their leader, bang.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but
Mm.
they're friends. They've been friends for longer than they've been rivals.
Yeah, but I feel like their friendship has deteriorated, and now they're just
What's
rivals.
called it has, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Probably see Otto again next episode, but yeah, it was good. It was good. You got your dragons. I think there's still plenty of chess pieces in motion.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
What'd you give it?
What did you last episode? I think it's about the same as the last one. Which last one I gave? Where are we? A 4.5. So I'm gonna go like a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at a 4. Got my dragons. I was keen.
Got my dragons.
Yep. That's what I want. That's what I want. You are House of the Dragons. I want to see your dragons. That's
What
what I want.
dragons were in this episode? I'm trying to think back what happened.
Damon was riding his dragon, and you saw him come
Yep.
in land, and then you
Yep.
saw one of the young girls riding the dragon and
Oh yeah,
chasing Sir
chasing
Cole.
Kristen Cole and that. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that was enough.
Yep. True. True.
And then we saw the dragon eggs. That was it.
Yep. Oh
Hmm.
well, that's three. That's three dragon occasions, I
That's
suppose.
300% more than last time.
Yeah. So
Yep. See, quick maths.
quick maths.
Quick maths. All right, let's jump into our next one off the ranks, which is Netflix's Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Axel Foley returns to Beverly Hills after his daughter's life is threatened and works with old pals John Taggart and Bill Rosewood to uncover a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Bop, 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 boom. This is weird. Like I can't remember pretty much anything of the previous films, and I didn't.
Yeah, I struggled to remember. I'm
And I didn't
sure there was a
rewatch them.
lot of callback. No, I'm not rewatching them. I reckon
No,
I rewatched the first because the first time I remember enjoying as a young person.
yep.
I remember the third. I mean, it's pretty well received. The third is garbage,
Okay. Well,
but
this was kind of two short films in one. It was like the first half of the film for me was a plot setup with Foley's daughter taking on a case and then being threatened, and then it was Foley coming back in and reconnecting with all his previous interactions. And
yeah,
then the
there's a lot of
second
that.
part, then the second part of the film was actually them uncovering the conspiracy, which was very, very predictable. And then
Yes.
and then away you go into your like almost buddy cop, not really buddy cop. Axel Foley doing what Axel Foley does by destroying property and being a
Yeah,
being a loose cannon.
literally.
Like
I know.
it was weird. I enjoyed the second half because it was like just mindless kind of fun. With the first half, I was like, I don't understand who any of these people are.
And the first half felt like Star Wars Episode 1, where there's like all this cool action, and then there's just fucking people talking in a room,
Yeah,
and just shot reverse shot for like 10 minutes of characters talking. It's like, really, is this where the direction of this shit's going?
yeah, it was weird. But we get introduction of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yep.
Yep, I actually
Whereas,
thought he was a standout. I enjoyed him.
yeah, he did fine.
Yeah,
I don't dislike the guy. He
I, f-
is a pretty good actor.
I feel like he was the standout. Eddie Murphy he got better as the film went on. Like in the second half, he was actually more enjoyable than the first. Like in the first part, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really like you, which
He's
was
not likable anymore. Not necessarily Eddie Murphy, but the character, like part of what's so perfect about the original Beverly Hills Cop is like nothing else like it really existed at the time. It was like campy in a way, and it perfectly lent into Eddie Murphy's comedy where he could be a bit risque and say some shit that, oh, you can't say that sort of thing. Like he got away with a bit more because he was silly and he was like, but that's very 80s. And I don't think that Axel Foley holds up in the mid 2000s. Or, you're in 2020 now. It's like he's not, the character doesn't suit the time. Like he's dated at this point.
I enjoyed the music though. Like every time the music came on,
100%. Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
like
The 80s fucking like synth and everything. Yeah.
yeah, the
I
80s
agree.
throwback
Like
music.
that stuff was real campy. And the fight scenes, like as much as I don't like action movies and that, they felt kind of fun because it was reminiscent of like old fight movies, and like they didn't try to do anything overly new and exciting. They sort of stuck to what was magic about the originals. But no, I don't think it's the right time. I don't think that this movie needed to exist. Um, it was a perfect storm in the 80s, and even when the 1994 fucking number three came out, it was very poorly received.
Yeah,
From what I've
yeah.
heard, this is better. I can't remember. I think I've seen the third. I don't remember it that well. Um, but yeah, this is a lot of problems. I don't think that this is. I don't think 2024 is the time to release a Beverly Hills Cop.
No, I guess I guess you still got an audience though. Like those people in the 80s are still probably gonna watch it and be like, yeah, that was good. Like nostalgia wise.
Mm,
Like if they're going to do it, now is probably the time to hit that nostalgia. Where
yeah,
if they
but
waited
don't do
any
it.
longer, yeah, but I'm just saying, like if it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Like it
It
was
wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it more than we watched last week. That was absolutely shit. Trigger warning.
oh yeah, trigger warning was shocking.
It was better than that.
Yeah.
It was better than Bad Boys Ride or Die, which fuck, there are a lot of similarities.
Yep. True.
One of the writers for this actually co-wrote Bad Boys, and it shows there's a lot of similarities with like the general plot structure of the conspiracy and the father daughter working together and who do we trust and
Yeah. It was
a lot of it.
it was even like Foley gets arrested and framed and then they
Yep,
go on the run.
yep, exactly the same. Yep, and they
Oh,
get suspended from police. We can't be police anymore, but we'll keep doing our police job when we're not police.
yep.
So I said, I'm doing my best work. Like it's the same. It's phenomenal to me they can release two of these callback movies one after the other, like within 2 weeks of each other, and then be so similar. Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's bizarre. So bizarre. But whatever.
One of the writers of this wrote for something that I really like. I forgot what it was. I remember thinking like, how can they write that and then they write this? Let me see what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, you got three riders. One of the riders was involved with the other three. And then
Yeah,
you've
I've
got
already forgotten now.
one that was involved with Toy Soldiers, Turner and Hooch, The Big Easy.
Oh, so important now.
And the other one was involved with Aquaman, Gangster Squad,
Yeah, right.
Justice League, and Bad Boy.
Hmm.
Ugh, ugh.
This is Mark Malloy's directorial debut as well.
Okay.
And you can see he was trying some stuff. Like
Yeah.
there are some shots that I thought were pretty unique, especially like when they were just, traveling through the streets and they're doing they're trying some interesting stuff, but there's still a lot of things that felt quite amateur about it.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't all bad. It
No,
was
it wasn't all bad. It wasn't a terrible movie. It just wasn't, I don't think it's the right time.
no.
And I think if you're a big fan of the originals, there's a lot of callbacks. There's characters they bring back. Um, Surge, who's like that, he's a real estate agent.
Mhm.
At least in this one, that's the best scene because he's like a pretty funny character from the originals. I've heard he's also the best scene in the number three.
Yep.
Um, and the character he was with she's from SNL. Um, yeah, that was like the funniest scene, but again, it's one scene. Like there are moments of this that are somewhat decent, but
Yeah, they
it's
just struggle.
also generic and dated, and I don't think Eddie Murphy is a relevant comedian anymore.
New. So, but at least it wasn't offensive like trigger warning. Well, that thing was shocking.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
fine.
The music was cool. Really, really cool music.
Definitely. And it had
And
that campiness that it needed to have.
yeah,
So some parts it took itself too seriously, but it had a level of like campy 80s-ness
yep.
to it.
Yeah. For me, it was like a two. Like I enjoyed it
Literally on
more.
two.
And it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't enough to be like, this is actually good. So,
Yeah, no, much to say either.
so was
It's
Eddie
literally a
Murphy.
two.
Mm, it's like it was okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
like him. But again, it's like I liked him in the 80s. I
mhm.
don't Not that I was even born in the 80s, but his stuff from back then is just it's funnier because he had no restraint. His comedy special, Delirious and Raw, are still some of the funniest things on the planet.
Yeah, all good. Well, let's
And this
get
felt
in.
like, sorry,
Yep.
another really weird thing. This felt like a family movie at times. So every time there was a person getting shot in the face, it was really jarring because this felt like so many elements of this felt like a PG-13 family movie. And then there was people getting shot in the face and explosions and stuff, and it felt like who are they aiming this at? Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's a two. It's not
easy.
it's not great. It's not terrible.
Well, let's find out who the mole is.
Ooh.
All right. So Netflix has brought back the mole. It has got 2 seasons out now. So second season's just been released, and that is what we are watching now. It follows 12 players as they work together in challenges to add money to a pot that only one of them will win. But one person is the mole. So one person is
Mm-hmm.
attempting to sabotage them. They have a number of different challenges in the episode. They have to then have a quiz of who they think the mole is, and the person who knows the least about the mole gets evicted.
Yeah, more or
Yeah,
less.
yeah, which is an interesting way to do it. I kind of like that way rather than like trying to form alliances and being like, yo, we vote you out, which I guess that was,
I think it was the same as the original mole, right? They had to
yep, exactly
whoever
the
knew the
same.
least was gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep, yep. Where,
Yeah, I'm glad there's no like voting out or anything because it's how would that have anything to do with the show? Whereas this makes sense. I think it's a good way of having the system work.
yeah. And also, if they were doing voting and then all of a sudden they all somehow voted out the mole, that'd be like,
True.
see you later.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the way they could do that is if they did do a voting system, that'd be like a rotating mole or whatever. Like each week, they
A
assign
rotating mole.
they assign the mole to whoever.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have the same. Wouldn't be the same because the whole point of the mole is to sabotage. And
Yeah,
like, if you're sabotaging some weeks and not others, then
yeah,
yeah, I don't
it's
know.
true. I don't know, but this runs your pretty stereotypical reality TV show format. You get
Yeah.
introduced to the characters, you get introduced to their
Yep.
story, and then you get their little dramatized cut-ins during the what's it called, the challenges.
Hmm.
So I thought the challenges were quite unique. Like by this point, if you've seen Survivor, like Survivor generally rotate the same sort of challenges
Yeah.
throughout. There's always
Yeah.
like a endurance one. There's a
Uh-huh.
physicality like tackling, wrestling, whatever. There always seems to be a certain format where this was quite different. And I was like,
Yeah.
whoever's on the creative team, I was like, well done for your games.
There are some that because I watched the other like I always watched the original of them all, which I remember nothing about really. But this is the second season of the reboot. I watched the first season of the reboot. There's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of games that they do where I'm like, well, it's the same sort of game as the first one, but with a slight variation. So
Okay.
it seems less creative.
Uh,
But again, like what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with doing the same thing as the first season because the first season was the same as the old stuff. So is there a problem? Not really.
yeah, right. I just saw Belgium apparently had 9 seasons of them all.
Oh wow.
Hmm. So it was pretty popular in Belgium. So this kicks us off. They all get sent into a cornfield, which from the aerial view looks like a actual like crop sign alien
Yeah,
um
yeah. Like crop
thingo.
circles.
Yeah. But it was designed well. So we get introduced to all our characters. They all come out. They get to meet each other. Then you have your standard. Oh, I think they're the mole because they didn't say anything, or they're over blah blah blah. So there's lots of people throwing accusations out behind the
Hmm.
scenes. We get
Hmm.
introduced to 5 people who didn't make the cut, and they getting
Supposedly.
yeah. I don't think they were. It was
No,
just
I doubt it too, but yeah, whatever.
just adds a bit of drama to it. These
Uh-huh.
5 people are all chained together. They have to get out of the chain. So they have to run through this obstacle course without getting shot from paintballs. And then there's like, how do we make this more like dramatic by the person who's the leader? If this person gets there, you're out. So there's like, there's lots of stakes that they're trying to throw at it, which is,
Yeah. I'm saying,
which,
yeah.
which I get why they're doing it,
Hmm.
just to cause people to crack under pressure, because when people are at each other, it sells, drama sells. Look
Of
at
course.
look at Married at First Sight. The whole
Love
show is just
it.
is
I got
just
so into the last season.
it's just putting them into situations that will get
Of
them
course.
to fire up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so these 5 people have to run through the obstacle course and reach the cars, and if they reach the cars, they replace the some of the people that were in there. I think it was just the leader, so I think one
Yeah,
person
just
gets to go
niche.
in.
Yeah.
Yep. He has to then assign people to different stations. They have a limited number of paintballs, and they have to shoot the people as they're running through.
Yeah.
Yep. It was pretty good. It was shot well for them to run through. Thought the game was relatively interesting. I was like, yeah, it
Yeah.
was kind of a cool game.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Didn't hate it. I felt a little stacked against them, but in the end, one of the women gets like this amazing. She had on her last shot. She got this. I think that was Ryan. Got this amazing last shot. Um, yeah, it's whatever. Maybe a bit sus. That's the
yeah.
fun though. You watch these things and you're like, oh, if she was the mole, she wouldn't have got that shot. It'd be very easy to miss. But then you're also like, well, maybe that's her trying to form alliances early, and
Oh, if I was the mole,
that's why I like it.
I wouldn't have sabotaged the first game. There's no way you
No,
sabotage the first game.
no, that's why I really enjoy watching the show because the whole time you're watching it, you're trying to look out for stuff like that. One thing I will point out pretty early is having watched um the first season of the reboot in the last episode when they reveal the mole and they go through all the footage showing you like these are all the things the mole did to sabotage. You've shown footage you never shown before. Like they intentionally hide things from the audience.
Of course you
So
would.
like, of course they would because they have to. But it means that while you're looking for the mole, there's heaps of things that would reveal the mole you don't even get to see. So like, it's a grain of salt sort of thing. But
Yeah.
what else are they going to do? They can't necessarily be like, oh, Here's the
Well,
mole.
there's no point watching if you find out in episode
Literally.
one. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
reason you're hanging around.
Because
Everyone's
the
gonna.
full 10 episodes are out now, so I'm really scared. I'm gonna even now when I was looking up like images for the car so I could get their names right. I was so scared of accidentally seeing who the mole is, but
No,
I avoided it.
that's good. That's good. So I've watched three. I don't know how many you've watched.
I watched six.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched
Um.
the new one that came out yesterday. I watched last night.
Yep. Yep. So each episode runs pretty much the same formula. They do a challenge. They do some way to spice it up. Where I think it was episode two where they had the card where they had to sit.
God.
They wasn't it like the get out of vote free card or whatever it was, where the girl who was like, he can't say no to me because she was
Oh,
like,
right. Yeah. To
yeah,
win like immunity, whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah, where I quite like those people that all of a sudden will develop and use all whatever they've got. Like there's one girl
Yeah.
who's she's attractive, and then she's like,
Anna.
no one's ever said no to me,
Yeah, I
and
know,
then
right?
ends up
Which I do believe that.
like flirting her way in and like
Well, her and
manipulating.
Tony form an actual relationship.
Yeah,
Like
right.
by by episode, I thought by episode three, even episode four or five, they are like holding hands and kissing and like they are a couple. As the episodes go on, they are an actual couple. Like they form an actual relationship on the show.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, it makes for some interesting moments because I don't know, he's fallen for her and it's really obvious that he really likes her whereas she's still playing a game the whole way through. And I don't know, I'm curious to see if she's the mole, it's gonna break his heart.
That's the greatest mole play ever.
Which wouldn't surprise me either, because one of her things is like, oh, I'll play the dumb innocent girl because everyone thinks that I'm a dumb blonde, so
Yeah.
I'll play that card to my advantage. And that'd be a pretty smart card to play. But from my perspective, she is just a bit of an airhead. But could be proven
Oh,
wrong. She's the mole. I don't know.
yeah.
Could
I don't
be.
know. I think she's playing an interesting game. I quite like those people that all of a sudden stand out and are like making moves and stuff. But again,
Yeah,
you gotta remember that these shows cut and edit what they want you to think about people,
of course. Exactly right.
which
And
is
they don't want you to know who the mole is this early.
yeah, which is massive in like Beauty and the Geek. Like they
Oh yeah.
form personalities and then they will cut footage to
Hmm.
make you either love or hate someone. Like
Absolutely.
it's pretty wild.
They're the
It's
same
but
thing with everything. They're the same thing with maths. They're the same thing with all the reality shows that my partner and I watch. Like, eh,
yeah,
it's not
it's
really
just
reality, but
it's just interesting to watch. I also the second game they had to what's it called when you abseil down a building.
yeah.
I love seeing when they all of a sudden always pick the people that are afraid of heights. That's what makes like fear
Right.
factor so interesting. Like
Yeah.
those people facing their fears.
Yeah.
Like I'm
And
not
also like
I'm not fond
the
of
undercover
heights.
cop guy. The undercover cop guy, I feel like if you're a cop, I mean, a cop doesn't abseil all the time, but he went from shitting himself to flying down the side of this wall. He went so quick.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm not fond of heights, so I'd want to get it over with as quick as possible. So I'd be
yeah,
moving pretty quick
potentially.
too.
Yeah,
Like I wouldn't be. This is fun. I'm gonna go real slow. Like, nah,
it's
let's get
true.
this over with. So like that was
Yeah, I don't
cool.
know. I'm
Seeing,
just I watch everything with such like I look at everyone with such curious eyes because I'm looking for them all,
hmm, true.
and that's how I enjoy this show. I'll tell you, at the end of episode five, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but not really because it's how the show works. You know how they can more or less use the kitty or use the prize pool um to get advantages or whatever. They can
Hmm.
like by the end of episode five, there is $0
Oh,
in the pool. And
That's what.
like there's
That's what.
one person who's made an enemy for the rest of the show.
It's wild, eh? Like
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
everyone's looking for a way to get further ahead, but at the end of the day,
It's also like
you're trying to
you
win
want
money
to,
too.
well, literally, yeah, that's the thing. But one thing I keep pointing out is like you need to convince other people that you're the mole. Because if Steve thinks that you're the mole and Steve puts all his questions into you being the mole and you're not the mole, then Steve leaves because he thought you were the mole and you weren't.
Mhm.
Like there's tactics to being thought that you are the mole. And then there's double bluff if you are the mole and you're doing things that are obvious. They're like, well, were they just trying to like I really like the head games that the show creates. And they're like the alliances and yeah, I love
Yeah.
this sort of as much as like we've said, as much as they're showing us what they want to show us, I think there's still an element of like these people are experiencing like Q, his full name is Quaylen. Um he's so animated. Like he seems super genuine and real and he gets so frustrated when money disappears and like he's great. He's like my favorite person on the show.
Like you would be like if you're not the mole, you'd be pretty annoyed that there's no money left. Like even if you win, imagine if you
Yeah.
did
So,
like,
yeah, so they're saying that like what's the point of winning anymore? The older woman, hold on, let me find a picture here somewhere. Where is she? Deanna. Um, she at one point is like, I just want to go home. Like, what's the point of me being here? I'm wasting my time. I'm missing my family. I'm wasting my time here if there's no money in the fucking pot. Even if I win, what am I leaving with?
yeah,
Like, I just want to go. Like, let me go home.
yeah.
So fair.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah. So like I'm interested in it. It's
Yeah.
cool.
You know, watch the
It's
rest.
eventually I'll probably get the kids
Yeah.
onto it. They like Survivor. They don't like the
Okay.
talking part where I find this has probably got less talking because like the Survivor with the tribal councils, like
Sure.
the kids
Yeah.
lose
Okay.
interest in it where this is a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
quicker. Like you don't have that like who's going to vote out the alliance thing.
Do you
It's
think
like
kids would like get behind the whole, lying and manipulation and
probably not, but they really enjoy the challenges. They
yeah,
lose, yeah. So the challenges are the exciting part, like
yeah, that's fair.
because they survivors got the rewards and then obviously the immunity challenge. So like there's two
Hmm.
in the 40. Then this has got bits and pieces. So we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see. Yeah. I'm interested in it. It's like a 3.5. I'll let you know if it gets
I think that's
updated.
generous. Yeah, it's a three. Yeah, I liked the season one, the reboot more.
Okay.
I think that I'm not sure if it's the delivery of the show is a bit sharper, if it's the people are a bit more entertaining. But I was getting
Yeah.
more animated with the first season of the reboot.
I feel like people make it though. Like even in Survivor,
Definitely.
like 40 odd episodes, some seasons are way better because there's more interesting people.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's the same with like even Big Brother or Maths or whatever. Like the people make it at the end of the
definitely.
day.
That's why there are better seasons than others.
Yeah.
The host of this is a fucking vampire. He is so strange. Ari Shapiro. Um, yeah, he comes across like a TED Talk speaker who also has a rod up his ass. He's so strange.
Yeah.
He feels like a vampire because he looks like someone who's in their like 50s who's pretending to be someone in their 20s and he has this like this really tall posture and feels like a vampire. What can I say?
Yeah. Right.
You didn't feel vampire vibes from the host?
Oh, he's odd.
He's real
He's
odd.
yeah. It doesn't help that he's like lanky out either.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. He's a speaker, singer. Trying to look him up.
I don't
He's
think
an
he's got anything.
author.
I think he's just there. Like he's done very little.
Yeah, I don't know who he is or how he got this gig. I don't dislike the guy. He just has a weird vibe about him. He
Oh
seems
well,
untrustworthy, but I guess maybe that's the point of the mole.
yeah. Maybe he's the mole.
He's the mole. Yeah, that's the twist. He's the one sabotaging them the whole way through.
That'd be a pretty
Yeah,
cool
I'm keen to
twist
watch
there.
more just to find out who the mole is. So to me, it's like a three.
Yep. Yeah.
But the other season one, the reboot is better. If you want to watch
Okay.
one on the other one,
Yeah. You might start with that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just watch that one.
Oh
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Good, good, good. Next week we've got a big lineup. We're gonna do House of the Dragons 4 and 5. So we
Yep.
have 1 week where we're actually up to date.
Yep.
And then we've got Space Cadets, which is the newest romantic comedy about astronauts on Amazon Prime. And then
Emma
we've got
Roberts.
Netflix's adaptation of Exploding Kittens, which is originally a board game, I believe.
Yeah, card game.
Card game.
And Oatmeal used to do like YouTube videos and shit.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen here because I mean we've seen good things when YouTube shows get bought and used.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai,
I love
Has Been
Cobra Kai.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Could be funny. Could be mind-numbing shit. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to like the Angry Birds show
Oh yeah.
where it's just fan service and references and made for children. But
Maybe.
we'll see.
I'm gonna have no reference because I've never actually. I think I may have played the game
You
once.
played it at work. We used to play
Yeah.
it when we did Board Game Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. It was
It's
a
one of
long
my
time
favorite
ago.
games. I carry my copy of it with me when I do relief lessons because it's an easy like kids nothing to do. Here's how you play exploding kittens. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah. Good filler. Fair.
I love
Fair.
it.
But yeah, you know what to do. If you're listening on Spotify, give us that 5-star rating. And if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Join Discord if you want us to watch anything, and tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Have a good week. Love yous.